Well, hello. Welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today, if you are residing in the United States, it is 4th of July weekend. I'm actually recording this on the 4th of July. If you don't believe me, there is my watch. I'm out at this park, and I thought it would be a lot busier, but I guess it's not really the kind of park that people would go to do 4th of July barbecues or things like that. There aren't really any facilities. They finally did put some porta potties up near here. I have just been peeing in tall grass when I had to. And then they just cut the grass, so I had nowhere to urinate. But now they actually have some porta potties, which is nice. I'm here recording videos. I just recorded a fun video or a cool video I think you'll look forward to, but we have many things to talk about on this Sunday Stuff and Things, including upcoming videos, things you can look forward to in Stuff and Things YouTube and Stuff and Things Patreon. I actually realized last week I forgot to do the upcoming video section. I will not forget this time. We're gonna talk more about my Leica M4. Get used to it, gang. I've got a Leica M4. I'm kind of obsessed with it. We're gonna talk about my next two rolls after the initial one that I boneheadedly ruined. But there might be a problem. We're gonna have to tamp down the enthusiasm a little bit. Talk a little bit about 4th of July celebrations. There is a cool Pease blend that I just tried. Lots of good stuff coming up. Then we will have your questions, comments, and feedback in hashtag askstuffandthings, and we'll round everything out with the Patreon shoutouts and update section. Let's get going. All right, gang, what can you look forward to on Stuff and Things YouTube and Stuff and Things Patreon? Well, first of all, this week, exclusive to Patreon, we will have the Orongo Balkan Supreme Under Pressure. Is that what I named that video? It's basically a cool video where our good friend Mike from Alaska sent me samples of Orongo Balkan Supreme prepared in a bunch of different ways. He used a sous vide, he used a pressure cooker, a bunch of different methods for preparing this blend. And I was pretty skeptical about whether or not it would have that much difference or it would make that much difference with the flavor. It did. And you should watch the video coming up this week, posting on Patreon Monday, I guess. Yeah, exclusive to Patreon on Monday. Pretty fascinating results for this little video. Then next week on Stuff and Things YouTube and Stuff and Things Patreon, we will be talking about how I purchased a Leica M4. How it happened, why it happened, where it happened, the whole story behind how I got this beautiful new camera. New old camera, camera that's 55 years old. And then the week after that, we will be talking about, where did I put it? We will do a first impressions video, exclusive to Patreon, about GLP's Bankside. So this was provided for review by our good friend Les Brady. It was included in the cool little care package that he sent along. He had a tin of this, GLP's Bankside. He had a tin of GLP's Quiet Nights. And then he had that mystery blend that was super, super fun. I did a cool video about this. Actually, I posted about it on Instagram. And the video is me trying this blend, a blend I don't know. I had no idea what it was. And I was trying to tease out the components that were in the blend, basically testing, do I know what I'm talking about? And I don't want to give it away if you haven't watched it yet. Go to Patreon and check it out. But I got pretty close. So I was pretty happy with my ability to try a blend and determine which components were in a blend. But anyway, I posted about it on Instagram and somebody commented like, wow, you're really running out of ideas now, aren't you? It's like, what? This is fun. It's a fun video. I thought it was a really cool video. And I think a lot of people on Patreon liked it as well. So he sent me that, but he also sent me Bankside. And Bankside is, we have to come up with a new term for this. I have coined now the term VAPERKIA or VAPERKIA because it is a Virginia, Perique, Kentucky, and Latakia mix. We've been talking about VAPERKIs recently, but this is a VAPERKIA. Very interesting blend, and again, I don't want to give the video away, but pretty good. Pretty good. I just finished a roll of film in my Leica M4, and I took the film out of my Leica M4. I rewound it first, and now I am able to actuate the shutter over and over again. because I love doing that. It's an amazing stress release. So, yes, I got the Leica M4. There will be a video about how all that happened. Last week, I told you about how I ruined the first roll in my Leica M4 by taking the bottom off, like this, before actually rewinding the film. And as you can see, when you take the bottom off of a Leica M4 or any of the Leica M film cameras, you have very exposed spools. So before you've rewound the film, you have the entire film canister, actually it would be wound onto this side, and it's just open at the bottom. So all the light can seep in at the bottom. So you could see, if you watched the video last week, all these fingers of light that were going over every frame. Some frames were completely wiped out. So that was stupid. I haven't done that again, and hopefully I will never do that again. But I had 2 more rolls that I developed, and everything's looking good as far as exposure, pretty much hitting focus, not always hitting focus perfectly. Like right now, bam, I can do this pretty quickly if it's a nice, bright, shiny day and there's a lot of contrast and everything. Actually, in the dark, it's not too bad either, but you just have to find an area that has good contrast, and you can line up the 2 ghost images, and it's pretty quick, and I think I'm going to get very fast at it, and it's going to be pretty good. On my Nikon SLR, it's pretty good in a lot of situations. It's not great in low light, and sometimes the split prism system that you have in there for focus just doesn't work as well as I would like. It's not as easy. This one is a little bit quicker, I think, and I think it's just a little more obvious when you're in focus. Even though everything else in the viewfinder is in focus because it's just clear, you're not seeing through the lens, the focus patch in this does make it pretty quick and pretty easy to focus. So I'm liking that. And I developed 2 rolls. They're looking pretty good. I will start showing you a couple pictures here as I'm talking. The problem is I have noticed something. I have noticed some scratches on the negatives from the film that I have taken with this camera. And I thought I might have noticed, I did notice a few in the first roll, but that roll was so screwed up anyway that I didn't pay that much attention to it, and I assumed, oh, maybe there was something going on with, sometimes you can actually get like dust and grit in the light trap in the film canister. So you can see on that, there's like this foam, or I guess that's foam, a light trap there that the film goes through. Sometimes if you get like dust or grit in there, it can actually leave scratches on the film as you're advancing the film or rewinding the film. So I didn't really think much of it. And then after I developed these last 2 rolls that I didn't ruin by opening the bottom of the camera, I did notice more of those scratches, and they're just like these long longitudinal lines going across the film. The thing is, it wasn't on every frame. They seem to match, like if there was a scratch on one frame and I compared it to another frame, it did seem to be in pretty much the same place from what I could determine. And they're very small. You can't even see it with the naked eye when you're looking at the negatives. It's just once I scan them, I could see them. But then they might be in 1 or 2 frames in a row and then not in 2 or 3 more frames in a row. And I would say it's probably in a third of all the frames, which is just weird. Like, it's not consistent. So I was trying to figure out, is it the camera? Is it some way, does it have something to do with the way I'm processing the film? And I wouldn't think so, because I'm not like rubbing the film. I don't use a squeegee after I develop the film. I just use my little fingers, which are not, I mean, they're kind of rough, but I don't think they would scratch. You know, I've got some calluses, but I don't think that would scratch the film. And I never had this issue with any of the other film that I've developed myself at home. And so I started narrowing it down, thinking, okay, it must be the camera. So what I'm going to do is, I just finished a roll, and so now I can open the camera and everything. What you've got on a Leica is this pressure plate. So you can open the back of the Leica, and there's this film pressure plate here that when you close it down, it puts pressure on the roll of film as it's going through the camera to keep everything flat and straight. And I'm wondering, I can't feel anything with my finger right now, but I'm wondering if maybe there's some slight little burr or something on this that is scratching the film. So I'm gonna see if that's the case. And the way I'm gonna troubleshoot this is, And I think it's on the shiny side of the film, not the emulsion side. The emulsion side is the side that has the silver halide crystals in it, the side that gets exposed to light. That's the side facing the lens. The shiny side is kind of the plastic backing, and I think it's on that side of the film. So it might be scraping on something as it's going through the camera. It feels totally smooth to me right now. We'll see. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sacrifice a dummy roll of film. I'll take a roll of film and I'm gonna put it through the camera. I'm going to close the back, close the bottom. I'll take several frames and advance it several frames. And then I'm going to open it up, open the back up and mark, and then leave the back open and advance several frames, mark again, what was I gonna do? I had a whole methodology down. So basically being able to tell if it was marking it when the door was closed. First of all, I'll see if there are any marks at all, because whatever it was might have been cleaned out. You know, if I just blow this out and maybe, you know, clean off the pressure plate, maybe the film advance rails, if it is on the emulsion side, but I don't think it is on the emulsion side. I'll give it a good cleaning, advance the film through it a few times, see if I can tell if there are marks when the back was closed or not when the back was closed, if it's the emulsion side or the non-emulsion side. It might be totally fine already, you know, just once I give it a little blowout and a brush out. We'll see. So I'm hoping to troubleshoot that. I'm hoping it's not a big deal. I'm hoping it doesn't mean that I'm gonna have to do something with this camera. This camera was just serviced. But I was reading internet forums and a bunch of people, well, not a bunch, a couple people mentioned having a similar issue where they had it serviced and then they were getting these scratches and then they realized, oh, there was actually something on the pressure plate that was making these marks. It seemed like something fairly easy to fix, and it might be something that I've already fixed just by opening it up and kind of rubbing my finger on the pressure plate. There might have just been some grit or something on there. We'll see, but I'll keep you posted. Other than that, I'm really enjoying this. I hope that issue is not gonna be something major. Other than that, I absolutely love this camera. I've been using it pretty much every single day. I need to not use it so much because even though I'm developing my own film, I'm cutting out the cost of processing. The film itself is still $9 a roll, and I can't be shooting, you know, several rolls a week. That's just not cost effective, but we'll see. I will keep you posted on the troubleshooting for trying to figure out why my negatives have been scratched, and you will be seeing a lot more of this Leica M4 on the channel. Happy 4th of July! If you live in the US, or even if you don't live in the US. Maybe you celebrate the 4th of July anyway. I don't know. But it is the 4th of July. I have 0 plans. No family gatherings, no friend barbecues, nothing whatsoever. I used to live right near where people would go to watch the 4th of July celebration. So or the fireworks display that they put on every year in Bellingham, they usually put on a pretty good one. Pretty long, pretty impressive. It goes on for, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes. And they shoot them out over the bay, like basically right out there. And it's pretty impressive. As an adult, I don't really care. I'm not that excited about seeing lights explode in the sky anymore. As a kid, I would have been super into it. And as a kid, I used to love lighting off fireworks myself. Obviously, nothing as impressive as the giant mortars that they're shooting off into the air here. But, ooh, what is that bird? An attractive bird just flew by. Another one. But now fireworks are completely illegal in Bellingham. You're not supposed to shoot off any fireworks, and I wouldn't even now if I could, because I'm not a kid anymore. I don't have any kids of my own. I'm just curious for you guys out there, if you are into the 4th of July celebrations, do fireworks still pull you in? Are you still excited or impressed when you see fireworks displays, or are you the kind of person who enjoys lighting off fireworks yourselves, getting some bottle rockets, some firecrackers, maybe some M80s, what are those little bumblebees, Roman candles, all that good stuff. I could definitely see if I had a child, it would be fun to play with fireworks again. But like many things, as an adult, I'm just not that interested. I keep hearing people talking about going to theme parks, like Disney World or, you know, Universal Studios or things like that. And I can totally get it if you have a child and maybe you can have fun seeing it vicariously through your child, but then also, since you're there and enjoying it with your child, it could be fun for you as well. But I hear about these couples who just like go to Disneyland all the time, and I find that strange. I don't want to sound horribly judgy about it, because whatever, if you enjoy something, go enjoy it. But I just don't really see the appeal of going to Disneyland as like a 40-something-year-old person without a child. It just seems strange to me. Let me know in the comments below what plans you have for the 4th of July. I mean, I guess it's already happened, but what did you do on the 4th of July? And happy birthday, America. All right, gang, but now it is time for hashtag askstuffandthings. Remember, if you have a question for me and you would like it answered on the Sunday Stuff and Things, you can tweet at SAT Bradley with the hashtag askstuffandthings, but you probably shouldn't because nobody does. Or you can leave questions, comments, and feedback on my YouTube videos. I go through all of those, but if you want to go right to the front of the line, you can go to Patreon. If you're a Patreon supporter, write to me via Patreon, or you can hit that super thanks button under this video and go right to the front of the line as well. But we have some feedback from last week's Sunday Stuff and Things. This is from @CharlieHoot22 asking about my film, Do You Develop It Yourself? And yes, I do. I've actually posted a video several months back about my very first attempt at developing film. I think that was in the winter at some point. I develop black and white at home, and then I scan it myself. Maybe we'll do more on that on the channel in the future. @Tomahawk Head seems that Leica seems perfect. Well, we'll see. There might be an issue with it scratching my negatives. We'll find out. The photos look great, even with the light damage. You can see that they're full of detail and great contrast. Yeah, and obviously that has a lot to do with the lens. I think the lens is very nice. Very good guesstimation of exposure, well done. I get how you opened it accidentally. It happened to me once with my Minolta. Yep, excitement. Can't wait to see more photos. Hope you take us on a shoot once. Yeah, I might do that, like a photo walk video or something. That could be kind of cool. It's cool when people have like a little GoPro or something and you can see them take the camera up and then you'll see the photo. You see them taking the picture in the video and then they'll have the finished photo that they can put in the video. I always think that's kind of cool. @DesertDan64 says, great video, Bradley. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm not a camera guy, but I'm well aware of the high regard for Leica cameras. Despite the damage to your film, the quality of the images is very evident. Congrats on such a fine instrument. As for the mystery blend, Balkan Saseni is a favorite of mine. It ages very well. Thank you, Desert Dan. And again, I don't think this is something that cannot be solved, but if there is an issue with the camera scratching my negatives, we'll have to determine that. @TomBrown1898 says, Sassini, emphasis on the second syllable. Sassini. Haven't S'd that in ages. It's an STG blend, I believe. Man, you love that Leica. Yes, I do. And thank you for the pronunciation. I think I was saying, what did I say? Balkan Sassani, Sassini? But Tom is saying Sassini. @Kenjiro5775 says, this is a bit off topic, but maybe it might interest you. Decided to try something different today. Mix some Escudo with Old Dark Fired in a 2 to 3 to 1 to 3 ratio to make my own VAPERKIA. This has been my best attempt at, quote, home blending, and it was delicious. Sounds good to me, yeah. I think the addition of Kentucky to a vapor blend, I have not had an example of it where it didn't work. I just think it goes really well together. The VAPERKIAs are good. They're real, man. They're really good. And then finally, we have some feedback on the Bronson M1951 parka that I did. I love that parka. I haven't been able to wear it that much because it's summer. It hasn't been super hot here compared to the rest of the country, but I haven't had a chance to wear it that often. But the few times that I have been able to wear it out, I've gotten so many compliments on it, which is just kind of weird. It's a parka, it's an army parka, but people seem to really love it. I really love it. And the quality is amazing. The price is really good. I'm not being paid to say any of these things, but I really enjoy that parka. You should check out that review if you haven't yet. Les Brady says, if it has YKK snaps, why not a YKK zipper? And it has a Talon zipper, and I think it's because the originals had Talon zippers. I don't even know if the Talon zipper that's on that parka is, if there is still a company called Talon making zippers, and if it's the original company named Talon that was making the zippers for the parkas back in the 50s, but it seems like a really nice zipper. At Leopold597 says, great stuff, Bradley. Kind of makes me miss the Timeless Style series. You always look so comfortable in your clothes. Thank you very much, Leopold. I considered doing a Timeless Style for the parka, but then I thought, should I do a Timeless Style video on a replica? Because usually if I do a Timeless Style, I'm trying to get sort of the prototypical or the apotheosis of the thing. So if I'm talking about a motorcycle jacket that's like a shot Perfecto motorcycle jacket, I want the actual shot Perfecto motorcycle jacket to do the video on. And since it's not an actual real M1951 Army surplus parka, I thought, maybe I shouldn't do Timeless Style, but then maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe the style is just the style, and if there are a lot of other companies making similar things, I don't know. We'll see. I was gonna say there are ethical concerns. I don't think there really are any ethical concerns. It doesn't really matter. It was just kind of my own rules that I made, but we'll see. We might do more Timeless Style stuff, even if I don't have the exact original version of the thing. And then at Cranberries Lover says, so cool. I'd love to know more about mod culture as well as the revival. I did a lot of study back in the day when I was into the whole mod style thing in my late teens and early 20s in Los Angeles. I could talk about it, I guess. I don't know if there's a lot to say. Quadrophenia, watch Quadrophenia, even though that was made in the 70s, I think. It was a youth subculture movement in England, originally in the 60s, and it was based around kind of young, a lot of working class kids, but they were people that had disposable income, and it was sort of like the first emergence of teenagers in the UK around that same era. And they enjoyed a certain type of music. They enjoyed wearing what they considered modern, stylish clothing. A lot of that was suits with, you know, tapered legs, high-cut suits, skinny ties, certain hairstyles. I don't know. There's a whole thing goes along. There have been several mod revivals. They drove around on a lot of Italian scooters, Lambrettas, and Vespas. They used to put all sorts of crazy mirrors and reflectors on them and lights. And there have been several resurgences of it. There was like a late 70s mod revival, and then there was kind of a late 90s, early 2000s mod revival in the US. So yeah, an interesting subculture. And that it kind of spawned other subcultures in the UK as well. You can do some research on that. Interesting stuff. But thank you, gang, for all that feedback. Please keep it coming in. It really helps make the show go. All right, gang, but now it's time for the very best part of the show, and that is where we thank our Patreon supporters. Remember, if you would like to support Stuff and Things on Patreon, there is a link in the description box below, and it is much appreciated. It is pretty much the main way that you can show your support for the channel and the main way to keep this content coming. It helps me do all of this, basically, and it is much appreciated. If you like any of the content that is posted on Stuff and Things YouTube or Stuff and Things Patreon, $5 a month gets you in to our Patreon little club that we've got going. There are exclusive videos on Patreon every single week. All the pipe stuff that had to be taken off YouTube is going onto Patreon eventually. We have started with all the old pipe reviews, or all the old pipe blend reviews. We've got dozens up there already. There's a new one every week, a new old one every week, and then all the exclusive videos that are about pipes that I can't post on YouTube, they also get posted, the new videos on Patreon every week, and then you get access early and ad-free to the YouTube videos on Patreon as well. So every week we like to shout out those who support the channels at $25 or more a month, the producers of Stuff and Things. People like Jason Buckner, Arcturus, Ashes of the Phoenix, Jonathon Proctor, The Friendly Piper, The GreatGrol, Glenn, Just Glenn, David Severin, Nicholas James, Kyle Whitmore, Mr. Gibson, and Chris Caughey. And of course, the Maniacs, the crazy people who support the channels at $100 a month, people like Bob Magee. And we'll never forget our dearly departed friend and Hall of Fame member, Peter Straub. Gang, what can you look forward exclusively to? What can you look forward to exclusively on Patreon this week? Well, the Orongo Balkan Supreme Under Pressure video, that cool video where I'm trying different samples of Orongo Balkan Supreme that were prepared in different ways by our good friend Mike. And then we will have the Solani Aged Burley Flake review from May 1st, 2015. So last week it was Peterson Irish Flake, a Burley blend. The week after, or this week, will be Solani Aged Burley Flake. I guess I was on a Burley kick back then. I really enjoyed both of those blends. And I haven't had Solani Aged Burley Flake in a while. I think I did a revisited episode a bit ago. It's probably been a couple years now, but it was one of my favorites for a long time. So, Orongo Balkan Supreme Under Pressure, Solani Aged Burley Flake from the archives from May 1st, 1915. 2 exclusive videos for Patreon, but lots of other good stuff coming up on YouTube as well. And thank you so much for watching. Please have a happy 4th of July weekend if you live in the US or celebrate such. But until next time, until we meet again, I'm your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things on a Sunday. Stuff and Things. I'll see you later. Go use that outhouse.